I get it. You've just spent a weekend cleaning the pool by hand, sweating under the summer sun, and now you're staring at that endless spiral of the hose, wondering if there's a smarter way to keep the water clear without turning the whole thing into a full-time chore. Maybe a friend just dropped a link in the group chat for a robot cleaner, and you're skeptical because you've heard the price tags on some of these gadgets can be steep, and you don't want to waste money on a device that just circles around the same spot or dies halfway through a cleaning cycle. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. The Wzglod automatic pool vacuum tries to position itself as that Satan-Forget solution, promising full coverage of a flat pool up to about 1,000 square feet. A cordless design, so you're not wrestling with tangled power cords, and a battery that can run for up to 2 hours. Those are the claims that catch most people's eyes, especially if you have an above-ground or in-ground pool that you use regularly, but don't have the time or the desire to vacuum manually after every swim. The real question is whether those promises translate into day-to-day convenience, or if you'll end up with a pricey gadget that's more hassle than help. First, let's talk about the actual setup. The robot arrives in a fairly compact box, and you'll need to attach the filtration hose and the power cable that plugs into the robot's charging dock. The whole thing takes about 10 minutes to get on the floor, which is reasonable for a pool cleaner. Because it's cordless, you won't have to run a heavy extension cord across the pool surface, which is a huge plus for anyone who's ever tripped over a line or had the cord get caught on a ladder. Once you drop it into the water and press start, the dual motor system kicks in, and you'll hear a low hum as the unit begins to move. What I found most useful in real-world use is the way the robot actually navigates. It doesn't just spin in place. The programming seems designed to create overlapping lanes that ensure every inch of the pool floor gets swept at least once. In a typical 12 by 24-foot in-ground pool, the unit finished a full clean in about 70 minutes, which lines up with the advertised 120-minute maximum runtime. The full coverage claim feels honest here. There were no obvious blind spots, and the debris in the skimmer was noticeably reduced after each run. If you have a pool with a simple, flat bottom, this robot is likely to give you the consistency you need. The suction power is another area where the Wzglod stands out. The dual-motor design means it can pull both fine sand and larger leaf fragments into its internal filter. In practice, I saw the filter cartridge fill up fairly quickly when the pool had a lot of organic debris after a windy day, but that's actually a good sign that it's doing its job. The downside is you'll need to empty and rinse the filter more often than you might expect if you're in a leaf-heavy environment. The process is straightforward. Just pop the filter out, give it a quick rinse, and snap it back in. It adds a small maintenance step, but it's nothing compared to manually scooping debris. Battery life is often the make-or-break factor for cordless cleaners. The Wzglod's battery is marketed as large capacity, and the 120-minute run time holds up in my tests. I ran the robot on a full charge, let it clean until the battery hit the low power warning, and it stopped automatically. That gave me a clear indication of when it needed a recharge. The charger docks the unit securely, and after about 3 hours the battery is back to full. If you run the cleaner daily, you'll want to factor in that charging window, but for most households that clean every couple of days, the cycle fits nicely into a weekend routine. One feature that genuinely adds convenience is the automatic parking function. When the battery gets low or you press the stop button, the robot swims back to the dock on its own. In my experience, it finds the dock reliably every time, aligning itself with the charging contacts without any fiddling. That removes the need to chase after a drifting robot at the end of a cleaning session, which is something many other models still require. Now, let's weigh who should actually consider buying this robot. If you have a medium-sized, flat-bottom pool up to about 1,000 square feet, and you swim regularly, say a few times a week, this device can save you a noticeable chunk of time. It's also a good fit for people who dislike dealing with cords or who have limited storage space for a larger, corded cleaner. Homeowners who are okay with doing a quick filter rinse after each use will appreciate the strong suction and the fact that the robot doesn't leave visible streaks or spots. And if you value the peace